Costantino, you are, sir?
Nunez.
And you, sir?
Ken Garcia.
And you, ma'am?
Elma Alvarez.
And I have to say today, power to the people. The people prevailed 5-1 in the vote, City Council. They're going to change the signs on 7th Avenue to read La Séptima. Fran, we did it. We did it. With the power of Marcelo Macera's flag in chambers today. So, on behalf of everybody in attendance, Daddy, are you ready? Tampa Natives power! Jeff, push the button. The Tampa Native show begins right now.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
Ay. Otra vez. Come here. Let me tell you something. I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, those precious memories. A city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. I remember Tampa, and she remembers me. Yeah. She remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the fastest 60 minutes in cable broadcast history. Live from the studios at TBCN, the home of the Tampa Native Show. Join your hosts, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Cannella, as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Cannella.
She remembers me.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Tampa Native Show. If it's Thursday night at 7 o'clock, it must be the Tampa Native Show. My name is Mario Nunez. I'm seated alongside my broadcast partner,
Steve Cannella.
a.k.a.
Tampa Steve.
And to my immediate left here,
Sally Nunez,
a.k.a.
the 15-Minute Girl.
And boy, what an action-packed hour we have for you tonight. You saw that little video at the outset there, the start of the show. We had the experience of a lifetime today. We went down to City Hall, to City Hall. And we made an impassioned plea to our city councilmen and women. And power to the people, we prevailed. Thanks to the leadership of Fran Costantino, who's been working so spiritedly and with so much passion for the last 13 years to right a wrong, an egregious wrong. And today, our voices were heard. So we can say unequivocally that the system does work. But there's one thing that's real important about the system. What is that, darling?
Participation.
Yeah, you've got to get involved.
Participate.
You've got to get involved. We want to go ahead and at the outset say a great big heartfelt thank you to City Council members Mike Suarez for making the motion on the floor, to Frank Reddick for seconding the motion, to Vice Chair Mary Mulhern, to Harry Cohen, and to Lisa Monteleone for their support on this very important issue. Inexplicably, just before the vote, Yoli Capin walked out of chambers. We couldn't quite figure out why she wasn't there when the vote was tallied, and even more inexplicably, one of our very own, Chairman Charlie Miranda, when it came time to vote, voted in opposition to this worthy cause. So that didn't tamper our spirits. It didn't ruin the day for us.
We
were
still
all
prevailed.
Very, very excited and very buoyed at the end of it that the system did in fact work, and we were terribly excited for Fran, who has worked harder than anybody. And of course, as you saw at the outset, we evoked the great Marcelo Macera because it was, we think, in great part, the flag that he bestowed upon us in our last season that was there with us today in chambers.
I think he was there with us,
and he
too.
was looking over our shoulder to make sure that everything went well. So
He was with us.
Congratulations. I'm being told that the flag has green in it, and because we're sitting in front of the green screen, part of it didn't show, so we apologize for that.
Yeah.
But congratulations to everybody involved.
Yes.
It was one of those magical moments, and I'm so grateful that my pop my 83-year young
Yes.
pop was there to enjoy it with us.
And
So
we're all very, very proud to have
thanks,
been part
Dad,
of
for
it.
being there.
Wish I could have been
Good
there
job,
myself.
Fran.
Mr. Cannella was not present because, unlike a lot of us, he's got a day job. We all do, but he was just happened to be stuck inside the office today. But
But I sent an email.
he
Yes.
sent an email which I read on his behalf, and that show, of
Thank you.
course, is on CTTV. It will re-air throughout the course of the week, and if anybody has an opportunity to watch that, I would suggest that you do, just to see how it all played
works,
out.
yeah.
How it all
Very exciting today.
it was,
It
yeah,
was.
there were tears,
It was,
tears of
yeah.
joy,
I'm
tears
sure.
of joy.
Yeah.
A lot of, like I said, a lot of hard work paid off.
Yeah.
And today was evidence of that. Like we do every week, we want to go ahead at the outset and mention our sponsors. We've got so much to cover today. We want to
As
mention our
usual.
sponsors. Steve, if you don't mind, I'll just read through the list real quickly.
Go right ahead. Let's do that.
If you've noticed that the set has changed a little bit this week, the topic of our show is, as much as we'd like to continue to talk about the great victory today at City Hall, today's show is all about the Anheuser-Busch Brewery and the little, I guess you could call it an amusement center attached to, we call it, why did we refer to it today, darling? The amusement park? No?
The gardens?
It was the gardens, what did we say? It was it was today's question of the week, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead of myself. Is the brewery or the bird show?
Right.
Because remember, Anheuser-Busch and its brewery was very benign and pedestrian back then. It didn't have much to offer. It had the brewery, and it had some animals, just a few. But Steve Cannella, my co-host and my BFF for the last 3 years, worked there for the better part of 17 years. And he was a brewer. And I'm assuming that if he'd stayed there the entire length of time, he probably would have been retired with a nice pension by now. But when they closed up shop, a sad day for everybody, some
Yeah.
400 employees were displaced. Stevie decided, because he is a fourth-generation Tampa native, to stay home and not take a position that was tendered to him in St. Louis. So
Yeah.
kudos to Stevie for sticking it out here at home. But, of course, the other side of that is he could have been retired by now.
That's true too.
Yes, but then we would never have met.
That's right.
Real quickly, our sponsors, thank you so much. Each and every week at the outset, we mentioned them, and we're going to do it again this week. Alessi Bakery, La Unione Italiana, Wright's Gourmet House, Stamatakis, Stalgi, and Bonanno, Amarilli Sandwiches and more, Cacciatore Brothers, PJ Testa Accounting, Costantino and Company, South Tampa Chiropractic Clinic, Housewife Bake Shop, Columbia Jobbing, and Florida Blood Services. And rumor has it that we're being contacted by Caracolillo Coffee and Mike Faedo. Also, the Colonnade is back in place. So, Mike
Yes.
Faedo, we know that you're trying to get in touch with us, and we owe you a visit. We're going to come by and see you very, very soon. So get your checkbook out and get it ready.
That'll be awesome.
We'll stop by. The personal contributors that also are responsible for keeping us on the air, Mr. Frank Cueto, Mr. Ronnie DeRigo, chefs Dave Del Rio and Georgia Tamargo, Henry and Raul Castillo, the Castillo brothers, Phil and Carmen Nunez, Mike and Kathy White, and Copeland and Stephanie Moret. Lots of love to all of you, and thank you for your contributions and helping us stay on the air.
Thank you all.
So we can bring up that 3-shot again so I don't hog up all the airtime here. Stevie is right there. Look at that backdrop. Ladies and gentlemen,
Look at that.
if you don't
Remember
know what
that?
that is, that might be an indication that you're not a true Tampa native, or at least you weren't here.
Yeah.
Now that right there, Stevie, let's tell everybody what that is.
That's the, I think, the world's largest escalator at the time, 1960. This is early 60s. But the brewery was built in 1959, actually.
1959.
And you know what else happened in 1959?
Tell me.
I was born.
There you go.
Hey!
And
There you go.
I think it was meant to be that I was going to work in the brewery, because in fact, I won't say it right now, but I'll mention it a little bit later. There's another coincidence as well that has to do with why I think it's maybe meant to be that I worked there all those years.
Very nice.
But it's very interesting. I'll talk about it a little bit
Well,
later.
this story today is our show today is Steve Cannella, This Is Your Life.
Yes.
We're going to talk all about the brewery. Before we get to that story and everything that entails, we want to get a couple of things up front and out of the way. We got to get to our question of the week. Tony Zapponi, Tampa Trivia of the Week, brought to you by
Tony Peroni.
Tony Peroni,
Housewife
Tony
Bake
Zapponi,
Shop.
Housewife Bake Shop. I want to mention this because it's a little bit of a, it's kind of a little bit of a brain puzzler, and we think
It
we're going to
is.
have an issue with folks trying to figure this one out. So here it is. Without further ado, Tony Zapponi, Tampa Trivia, brought to you by Tony Peroni. For about 40 years, up until the early 1990s, an unusual vehicle was parked in a vacant lot on the northwest corner of Howard and Swan Avenues in Hyde Park, just west of then Burt's Hardware. A CVS drugstore now sits on the property. It was one of only 5 vehicles in the entire country. What was it? And as a bonus question, who owned it? Now, I'm here to tell you, it stumped me, but once it was
Me
revealed,
too.
I remembered it. And I'll give you a little hint because this one's tough.
Not too big.
This one's tough.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
We've discussed it before on this show, and we have visual evidence of it a
Yes,
little bit
we
later
have.
on. Okay, Stevie, this is for your enjoyment and
clue.
for your consideration and for all things good. You know, we have a comment line, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that don't know that, we're going to give that comment line right now. We want you to jot this number down if you don't have it, and our technical director, Jeff Haynes, will put it up there on the TV screen so you can see it. There it is. Darling, tell them that number.
The number is 813-920-2508.
One more time.
813-920-2508.
Now, that line has been set up specifically to handle questions, comments, cheers, and jeers. If you've got a question, a comment about the show, something you'd like to see us cover, something you'd like to see us change, you're to call us on that line and let us know. Now, the line is not here in studio with us, obviously.
No.
That's something set apart. That's in our office. But it's set there specifically so that you can call. We brought tonight some recordings of some of those calls just to show you that the calls are
works.
getting through.
Yeah.
And some of these calls, we want to make sure you're not drinking or eating anything at the time because
They're kind of funny, huh?
spit takes all around. Okay.
It's great.
I'm going to play this right
Great.
close to our speaker here so you can pick it up and you can hear it. This first call, if I'm not mistaken, is from Emilio Garcia Jr. Enjoy this.
It's impossible for me to dial 977-6800. I'd like to know what's going on. Thank you.
Emilio Garcia Jr.
12 p.m.
frustrated because he couldn't get through on a night that he needed to call us desperately. Follow-up call.
Yes, this is Anheuser-Busch Garcia Jr., and I was speaking my Bolita number 45. Thank you.
Emilio Garcia Jr. Follow-up call. Next.
I'm absolutely going to kill TBCN. I have been calling for 1 hour straight, 977-6800, and I got the same thing Carmen got last week that tells you over and over and over that you're going to have to dial a 1, a 0, or the area code to reach that number, and it cuts you off. So just to know, Ryan Costantino has been trying since 7 o'clock to get in nice and early so I could get my number 69 and could not get through to y'all. So I don't know how those people are getting through, but we certainly are not. I tried from the cell phone and the landline, no cigar. But a good show. Take care. Love you. Bye.
That's Frank Costantino. Jeffrey, bring up that 3 shot so we're all included in this because I feel like I'm hogging all the air and there's 2 people on the set with me here.
And we're laughing.
So yeah, and make sure because we got to get the reaction
does
from everybody.
like that,
Thank you.
though.
Leave it on the 3 shot. That was Frank Costantino again, suffering the anguish
Yeah.
She was so mad she was going to kill
and
everybody.
Yeah.
the frustration that it is when you can't get through. Sometimes you can't get through here at the Tampa Native Show because the lines are just jammed.
Yes.
When you can't get through, you don't get a busy signal. You get something that tells you you don't need to dial 1 or you need to dial 813, and then you just get dumped into oblivion.
It must be confusing.
That was very
though.
funny, though.
The next call, I believe, is from one of our tried and true fans who hasn't been with us, able to call us in for a little while, Jim Carney. Forgive me, Jim.
Carney.
But,
And feeling a little guilty, huh?
yep, he found our comment line.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
The number on the TV screen, the native show 977-6800 is not working from my phone. I'm in the Verizon area code 13. The 977-6800 is not working.
That wasn't Jim Carney.
I digress. That was, I believe, I'm not sure.
I don't know who
I
that
don't think it
was.
was our Northeast
No, it
correspondent,
wasn't Tom.
because he sounded like he was making a local call. But again,
Said 813.
frustration, can't get in, you get that recording. I believe this is Tom. I mean,
No,
Jim.
Jim.
Jim Carney.
Mario, Sally, and Steve. This is Jim Carney, who usually calls from West Tampa and is on the line quite frequently. And my internet and my television have been down for economic reasons. I don't want you guys to think I've abandoned you. And I haven't in any way. I proudly display and have gotten some comments on the my
came out good. And man, I'd be there, but for technological reasons, and I'm worried that you guys are going to think I've just abandoned the show, and that's not the case at all. I'm out here promoting it, and let me give you a phone number where Maria, or Sally, or Steve.
Okay, we think you get the point. We think you get the point. That's Jim Carney.
Feeling a little guilty.
We won't go through. We have several other calls on there.
Yeah.
Mike Ballou has recorded on there. Jim Hooper's on there as well. But we just wanted to bring you in a little sampling to let you know that phone number is monitored.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate your call. So when you do call, know that it's going to an actual phone, and we listen. And of course, we're going to begin to make this a regular feature on the show, those calls that are worthy. And if they go too long, we can't really show them because it eats up too much of the hour. We've got too much ground to cover. But keep them short, keep them sweet, keep them coming, and we'll bring them in and show them on and display them each
it
week.
shows how committed our fans really are.
Yes.
I mean, they're taking the time to actually
Yeah.
call the number, the
Right.
comment line.
Right. And
give
Jim
their
Carney,
heartfelt
if you're
comments.
out there and you see this, we know that you haven't abandoned
Right.
us.
Yes, and we
And
love
we're
you.
here for
Thank
you
you.
whenever
Thank you,
you
Jim.
can
And
come
brother,
back.
thank you so much for being one of our bestest.
Art in
Yes.
hands.
Yep, we thank you for that. Also, TampaNativeShow.com, TampaNativeShow.com.
Oh,
Stevie,
how about the
talk
IT
about
department?
TampaNativeShow.com.
And the IT department worked overtime this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Kudos
IT
to the
department?
IT
The
department.
IT department was really
Yes.
into it. But really, it was, in fact, maybe what we'll do is have Jeff bring up picture number 20. I
If you
believe.
would, Jeff,
Yeah.
picture number
Please.
20, please. Muy importante, as they would say. Muito importante, as
Jeff,
they
go
would
ahead
say.
and take me out of this picture for
Look
a
at
second.
this shot.
Now, how
Look
about
at this shot. Ladies and gentlemen,
looks
Steve, talk about
fantastic.
this.
Hey, that's-
Let me say real quick before you do.
Go right ahead.
You know what, Steve? You stepped up, brother. And
I did.
I tell you what, you did beautifully. You spent the entire
literally the
weekend.
entire weekend.
The entire weekend in your calzoncillos. Did I say that on live TV?
Yeah.
At your house.
Most people don't know what that means, though.
That's right.
That's why I said it. Putting this together, and I tell you what, it is beautiful. If
It
you
is
haven't
beautiful.
seen it, Stevie, tell everybody about it.
Well, basically, it just kind of, it really kind of displays our feelings about the show. I think it perfectly describes that. In fact, in the upper left-hand corner, we have the Tampa Theater and the Florida Theater picture. That is going to be changed out pretty soon. By the way, that's going to be like a little window to the world, where we're going to put updates and promos and other videos and keep you abreast of what's going on. So keep going back to the site to look at that particular
Very nice.
upper left-hand corner. It's just a picture right now, although one of our favorite pictures.
Yes.
Below that, we have, of course, the comment line. We have everything you need to know about the Tampa Native Show, the dates, the times. So if you ever talking to anyone out in the streets or any of your friends and they say, hey, how do I find out about what channel is it on, what time is it on? Just tell them to go to TampaNativeShow.com. All the information's right there. They can find it all. And we have a little picture of, it's a video of Mike Ballou song. And we're
Mike
gonna be
Ballou
changing-
song is there as
we'll
well.
add those as he
Excellent.
makes little snippets for us. We'll
Yeah.
add those to the site as well. But
You did a great job.
Show
Well, thank
schedule
you.
is there, Stevie?
Show schedule's right there.
As well, the live call-in number
The live call-in
and
number,
the comment line.
everything.
So, like Steve said, and I can't overstate, it's all right there. If you need to know anything about this show, our archive shows will be there as well. I just want to say, brother, you did a great job, and we appreciate
thank you.
Checks
Yes.
in the mail.
Appreciate it.
And
Checks
neither
in the
one
mail.
of us could have done that, so thank you, Steve.
Yep.
It was,
Checks in the mail.
it was fun. I mean, it took a long time, but I loved it. You know.
So tonight's show,
Don't stop
thank you,
doing it.
Stevie. Thank you for that. Kudos, my brother. Kudos.
Yes.
You got it.
So tonight's show is all about Anheuser-Busch, the brewery, your experiences of the brewery, at the brewery. If you went with your parents, which we all did, we took
did.
the obligatory picture in front of that giant
course.
Clydesdale
Everybody
Yes.
remembers
that
that.
was out there in front before you got inside. Everybody anxiously and eagerly
Yeah.
awaited to ride that 5-story escalator, which was the longest escalator in the world at
Yes.
the time, going through,
Outside.
listening to the bottles, the ruckus, the
Oh,
sound.
how about the smell?
The
Yes.
smell of the hops.
Great.
And then, of course,
Very distinctive.
the animals in the bird show. We've got our first 2 callers.
And you know what? Let me say something about that smell.
Please.
A lot of people think it is the hops, and now the hops was cooking in those kettles as well.
Yeah.
But the primary smell that people were smelling, and the people that lived in that area off of 30th and Temple Terrace Highway back then before it became Bush Boulevard, that's really the grain.
Oh, is
It was mostly the grain smell that you were smelling. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you had a really keen sense of smell, you might pick up some of the hop flavor. But
It was
mostly
very
the grain.
distinctive, though.
But it's easier to say hops, you know.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. It is. And so, you know,
But it brings
I'm
back
gonna go with
memories,
hops.
you know.
But
Yes.
our resident brewer knows better. Ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, we've got our first caller. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Is that me?
Caller,
Yes.
don't say anything else. Well, he's already said, is that me? Did anybody care to guess who that is? He's only said, is
I'm
that
going to
me?
say Tom.
I say Tom.
Wait, I'm not going to say Tom because you both said Tom. I'll say
George.
Tom. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is David.
Ah,
Oh,
Davian. I was
Davian.
gonna
Hi,
say Davian.
Davian.
I was gonna say Davian because Mother's Day is coming up. I was gonna
Yeah.
say Davian. Davian, you're taking the play. You're leading off and batting first and playing
Batting first,
second.
yep.
Yes.
Davian Benito. 'Cause
Welcome
Joe Green is
in.
nowhere in sight. Davian, how you doing, Papa?
I'm doing great. First of all, Viva la Septima.
Oh man,
Oh.
Viva la Septima!
Yes.
What a great win today.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. You know, it should be
Yeah.
Finally.
should be la Septima now, and now it will be, and just in time for the convention, so everybody
Yep.
can see it right. So.
Yes.
Yes, sir. The question of the day, let me throw it out there for you. The question of the day, brought to you by Stamataka, Stalgia, and Bonanno. The question of the day is brewery or bird show? We say bird show because really and truthfully, that's
Yeah.
all they had at that time in the way of an animal display
Yeah.
or an animal show. They didn't have any rides per se because the monorail came a little bit later, but and they didn't have the animals at the
No.
outset. They just had
the beer
they had a-
gardens.
They had
Yeah.
a couple of
Hospitality
seals.
house.
They had
Yeah.
a flamingo or two that really stanky flamingos. They had, I believe, the aviary with the bird show and Mary Ellen's daughter. If I'm
Mary
not-
Ellen's daughter
the great
used
Mary
to
Ellen's
do the
daughter
bird
used to
show.
be the one.
Yes.
So, brewery or bird show?
I remember the brewery.
Okay, brewery.
Okay.
The brewery tour going up the tall escalator.
Yes.
And one of the, I mean, I was, 10, 10, 11 at the time, but one of the coolest things that I always loved watching at the brewery tour was the machine that put the tops
The caps.
on the
Oh, yeah.
aluminum cans. It was like a machine gun. They had to
Yeah.
put it every, minute or so. It's just like a machine gun, those things going forward. When you're like, 9, 10 years old, that's pretty cool.
Oh,
Sure, yeah.
Davian, we have a video of that tonight. We're going to show you, so stay tuned. It's gonna
Stay
be
tuned.
really-
We've
yeah.
got a lot. We got a video coming
In
up.
fact,
Can you believe that?
It's a rare video of
You guys
inside
might know
the
the
Tampa Brewery.
the trivia question answer.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Really?
He has the answer?
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Breaking news. Davian thinks he's going to crack this nut. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, was it the Zucchini Brothers
Oh,
flying
my
cannonball
gosh.
truck?
Excuse me?
The Zucchini Brothers flying cannonball truck.
Wow.
Oh,
right
that's
out of the box.
amazing.
Without any further
Yeah.
ado,
Awesome.
Tony Zapponi,
Wow.
and
How
you
about that?
thought you were going to stump Davian Benito. Not so much. Davian, you win, brother. Listen, it was parked
Congratulations.
there for many, many years. I remember. We actually have a picture. What's the number of the picture, Stevie? We'll draw it up right now.
It's number 21, actually.
Number 21, if you'll bring that picture up for us, Jeff, because Davian ripped the cover
There it
right
is.
off of this. And if you'll
Wait,
take us out of the
definitely.
photo, that cannon with that truck was parked
Boom.
That was
right
the
there
truck,
at
too, wasn't
the
it?
heart of Hyde Park. Yes, sir. And of course, we did.
I remember, and then actually how I really got to know is my mom went to OLPH with one of the Zucchini Brothers.
One of the Zucchini brothers, and of course, Laura
Uh-huh.
Settlemeyer, classmate of mine. Her
Yeah.
mom was one of the two sisters that went flying out of that cannon.
And
So-
I wore the cape
Yes,
on
we
one
did
of
on
our
one of our
shows,
shows.
that gold
That-
cape,
That's
gold
right.
lame.
It was
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
fabulous. So, Davian, congratulations, my brother. You are the recipient of a $10 check,
Look
courtesy
you.
of Tony Zapponi. I got to tell you one more thing before I let you go, real quick.
We need his Bolita number.
We need your Bolita number quickly. Number 8.
23.
23. Is that your number usually?
Well, that's my mom's birthday.
23.
Okay.
Very
Oh,
good.
that's right.
I will tell you this, and you'll appreciate this.
Here this week, you'll know why. So.
Yes, of course. Fran Costantino laid this on us on the way into the studio today. We were talking about today's victory at City Hall. She said, there is no I in team, but thanks to today's efforts, now there's going to be a P in Septima.
Yes.
So I just thought it was perfect.
like
It's a
I
beautiful
thought I'd share
thing,
that with
Fran.
everybody. Thank you again, Davian, for all your support and
Yes.
your love.
All right, and good. Again, congratulations on today at the City Council.
It was awesome.
Thanks.
Couldn't do it without your help. Thank
Yeah.
you, brother.
Thank you, Davian.
All right.
Bye-bye. How about
That was
That's
amazing.
great. He
That is
got it
great.
right out of the box, and we got that video.
that
The
ever
video's
happened
cool.
before?
That's the Swiss House there. It's either the cans that he was talking about, that little can top applicator.
Well, it's probably the crowner for the bottles.
Look at
and
that,
the same
look
thing
at
with the canner. It was a
Go
canner.
on, Mr. Brewer. The crowner, excuse me.
Hey, it made me think of something else, by the way.
Go ahead.
As far as a little saying goes, here it goes. If you're lucky enough to be from Tampa, you're lucky enough.
Oh, that's
How about
very
that?
good.
Wait a minute,
I like
wait a
that.
minute. I'm
like
sorry.
that.
We
Could
might
you-
have to write that
Jeff
down.
was talking to me in my bad ear. Could you talk to me again in my good ear, sir?
If you're lucky enough to have been from Tampa, or to be from Tampa, you're lucky enough.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I like that.
Mark this down.
That might be good
Write
on a
that down.
T-shirt.
We should put that on a bumper sticker.
We should put it on
Or
a
a
bumper sticker. And
T-shirt.
speaking of bumper stickers, can I just say this now? We feel so good about today's events at City Hall.
Yes.
We talked about it just before going on the air. We feel so good about today's events. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have one with us, but we've held them up before. Like I'm going to hold up the invisible
They're very
window
nice.
decal. It says TampaNativeShow.com. Sharing your memories has never been this much fun. For anybody that would like one, we're celebrating today's victory downtown. For anybody that would like one, send us an email. Stevie, what's that email address?
That email address is show@tampanatives.com. That's show@tampanatives.com.
Show@tampanatives.com. You send us an email, you
With
tell
your
us.
address.
We would love to, I would love to have one of those bumper stickers or one of those window decals. Give us your address. We will mail one to you. You don't have to win one. There's no game
Yep.
of chance here. Send us that email, and we'll gladly send you one of those. We only ask that you please display it proudly. Put it in the drawer in the kitchen and forget about it. When you get it in the mail,
Don't
we'll
use it as
send
a
to you.
bookmark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, terrific. Let's go to the callers.
Let's take it.
Caller.
You good? Okay, caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello, caller. Let's try. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. And caller, turn down your TV as well,
Yes.
because there's a little bit of an echo.
Caller,
There
caller,
you
go ahead and
are.
turn down your TV. I think you may be at Castillo's Cafe or somewhere where there's a crowd because you're watching the TV. But
That's exactly where we're at.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
is this Henry Castillo himself?
Yeah, buddy, you're not only a TV show host, but you're also a damn mind reader. I mean, I want to congratulate you on that Septima
Oh, thank you, brother.
ordeal. You guys did an excellent job, and glad to see you do it.
Fran Costantino was the point of the spear.
Yes,
I'll
he
take
was.
a little bit of credit because it was fun to be a part of it. But let me tell you, the blood, sweat, and tears, 13 years that woman toiled
Yes.
on this, and it came to fruition today, all of her efforts and her sweat equity. And Henry, we had a lot of support from everybody in the
Yeah.
community. Thanks to everybody that called and emailed. Our voices were heard. Thank you. Thank you,
Well,
Kiki.
I got Marlene Merceda and Terry Marie here looking at your show.
Oh, hi,
Hey,
Terry,
girls.
Marlene.
Hey, y'all.
We saw you guys
Hi,
today.
Marlene.
And of course,
Hey,
I'll
Terry.
hold up Mr. Maceda's flag again at the risk of the green disappearing. But you guys are great.
That's
Take
awesome.
a picture, Keith. Take a picture and send it to us. You'll win the
Yeah, I
next
did
watch
already.
party.
It'll be posted tomorrow.
Oh, you're great. You guys are wonderful. We appreciate it. Give us your bolita drawing number.
Give me 43.
43. And did you-
43.
43 it is.
The question of the day was brewery or bird show. Did you have a preference?
Brewery, of course.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We've got a video that we're going to show in just a second.
Definitely.
What was your memory of the brewery, Keith?
The beer drinking, of course.
Oh, that was good. I'll tell you what I remember.
I like the
remember
bird show.
The way they used the man behind the tap would fill the glasses, perfect pour
Yeah.
each time, and then slide
Slide 'em
them across
down.
the table. They would never
Never
topple,
knock one over.
Never
No.
topple, never knock one over. And the adults, the fathers, the moms,
Yeah.
and the abuelos would stand there and grab. Everybody got two, and it was just amazing to watch it just all day long.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you, Keith.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Thank
your
you,
call.
Okay, man.
Bye,
Have a good one.
guys.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
quick story about the bird show and the hospitality house.
Okay.
Back in the 60s, when it was built around the brewery, mainly for VIP guests and for visitors, and to go sample the beer at the hospitality house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened? It started becoming so popular, people wanted to go to sample the beers, that the company started charging $1 a carload. So what happened after a few months? Every carload that came through had at least 8
Oh,
people
yeah.
piled into the car.
Of course.
Pile
Let's go get
in.
some beer, man.
Exactly.
Like
I
to
know.
drive
They
in.
pile everybody in the
Yeah.
car and go there. That was in the mid-60s, and they eventually,
great.
it grew into the gardens
Talk
after
about that
that.
picture
Yeah.
real quick before we go to the phone line, Steve.
Well, this is another different angle of the escalator,
Yeah.
going up to the
And that
brewery
walkway,
tour.
that catwalk that was going across there?
That was a catwalk. It was going over the seal pool actually at one time.
Yeah.
There were seals there. I think they changed it later on. It was in the later years. I think in the 70s it was a bald eagle they had in there.
I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But the old days, back in the 60s,
Seals.
it was seals.
Yes.
How neat it must have been. I know you spent 17 years of your young adulthood there, almost right out of high school. This would be a great time. Let's take a call real quick, and then you come back and tell us how you got the job. What is cool about your experience working there, from where I sit, is that was one of the jobs in Tampa that was highly apprised, man. I mean,
Well,
to have a job at the brewery, to know it was a good union gig, to know you had good salary, to know you had good pension if you stayed there long enough, probably good insurance. I mean, it was just a highly competitive,
job.
sought-after job.
You're right. You're very right. I mean, 100% correct. I mean, it's hard to describe, really. It was all those things you just mentioned. It was an incredible experience, especially someone who's 18 years old.
Yeah.
Going to work in a
Yeah.
brewery making beer. I mean, how exciting is that?
Yeah.
But just the overall camaraderie, the people, it was really more of a family.
I bet it was.
Than it
Great.
was a job.
And plus, you knew the place intimately. I mean, there was a
Oh,
huge
I knew every
facility,
square
but
inch.
you
Every
knew,
square inch of
you
that
knew where to hide,
building.
where they wouldn't find you. You knew where the dark
Yeah.
places were, where you could sleep in the middle of the night. All right, 3 shifts?
That's-
3 shifts?
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Round the clock
24
making
hours.
beer.
Oh yeah, incredible.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Look at those seals in that
There they
picture
are.
right there.
I
Caller,
remember
go
those
ahead.
seals.
Tom from New York.
Hey, our
Tom.
Northeast
Northeast
correspondent. Hi,
correspondent. Hey,
Tom.
Tom.
How are you enjoying the show tonight?
Oh, just Danny, it's great.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Good, good.
And
Tom, is there any breweries up near your neck of the woods?
I bet there is.
Oh, you know what? There is one. There's an Anheuser-Busch brewery in Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse,
Oh, wow.
New York, Poppy.
Yeah. Have you ever been there?
it's pretty far northwest of
Yeah. Yeah.
here.
Tom,
I
tell
really
us again, are you in the city proper?
I am actually north of the city.
Are you north of the city? Are you on the state side? Are you Long Island? Where are you north of the city?
I'm actually close to Hyde Park, New York.
Oh,
There
wow.
you go. There you go.
Okay.
Nice.
That
Very
sounds
well. We have a
nice.
Hyde Park here too. We're like cousins, man.
Yeah.
we got a Hyde Park here in Tampa. Did you know, now you work with Steve in your current job, did you know that Steve had the past life as a brewer?
No, I didn't.
I don't think I mentioned that. No.
There you go.
No.
Little factoid that you can
Yes.
beat him
Yeah.
over the head with tomorrow at work, man.
Learn things
I
on our
feel a little
show.
bit closer to him.
He'll probably send me a little note tomorrow saying, "Hey, I didn't know you worked at the brewery."
Well, the thing is, we're trying to get him to get re-inspired again when we can find the time. And we actually brewed a batch of what we like to call Tampa Natives beer recently. It came out pretty good.
Yes,
first
And-
try.
and
tasty.
we bought the little kettle, and Steve went, his eyes glazed over, and he had a flashback to his early years.
It was like a kung fu flashback.
It was
Yeah.
really, really cool, though, to watch him do it, man. Because
Yeah.
Steve's pretty low key. If you know Steve, you know he's one of those guys who just kind of doesn't get too excited about much, man. He just kind of.
But he got excited about
but
that.
let me tell you something, dude. When he took out the hops and the water and the
brought back all those
thermometer,
memories
he
for
went
me.
nuts.
Yeah.
He
Oh
went
my gosh.
crazy.
And it was really good.
And the beer was
It was
good.
very,
And the beer
very
was
good.
It was
The
an
beer was
oatmeal
very good.
stout.
The
Very good.
Anheuser-Busch made its presence in this house for many
Yes,
years.
sir.
Oh, yeah. You
Yes,
got it.
sir. We got a little special thing coming up in about
Yes.
20 minutes for you. The 15-minute girl and I have worked out, so
And a
hang
video.
tight for that. Give us your Bolita drawing number.
42.
42. And if you'd like one of those
42.
bumper stickers, send us an email. We'll send that off to you right quick.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks,
Tom.
Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Take care.
All right.
Check out that picture right there, man, real quick. That's the Clydesdale horse
Clydesdale.
that was out in front. That's the picture. Isn't that Ziggy?
No,
That's
you
Ziggy
know what?
Luis with the tall
I've
kid.
actually. I
Yeah,
think
that's
you're
Ziggy.
right.
Yeah, that's
Really?
Ziggy. That's
Ziggy's
Ziggy
a-
Luis, who's
that's
one
right.
of our Tampa native dear friends who lives
Yeah.
up in Alabama.
The guitar
Who's a
player.
musician, absolutely.
That's right.
And
That's right.
I ordered one of his CDs. I'm gonna have one
What
of
a
his
great
CDs here
picture.
recently.
By the way,
We're gonna-
I have a trivia question on that horse. If
Yes.
anyone can call in and name the name of that horse.
Ziggy, call in, man. I know you're playing tonight somewhere.
I know somebody knows.
Yeah, you're playing tonight, so you're not going to be able to call in. But if somebody knows the name of that horse, call in. That was the first stop on the way into the gardens, on the way into the brewery. You had to take that obligatory picture. And when you
Yeah.
were a little kid,
That horse.
That
is
was
huge.
a giant horse.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
it's gigantic when you're an adult.
Yeah.
true,
Yeah.
true.
But you
And
know
that
what
was,
we should do?
that was one of the treats of seeing the parade this year, the Grass
Oh,
Grove
that
parade.
was
Yeah, I
amazing.
know.
Remember
we
that?
did. We
The
got to
beautiful
see that.
animals and the just it's
Eight
incredible,
team-
incredible.
Eight team.
Hands?
What is it? 8-horse team is what I'm trying
Eight-horse
to say.
team. They had
Easy
two
for me to say.
18-wheeler
by hands,
semis.
Yeah, hands. And the Clydesdales
Yeah.
are the largest, of course, the largest horses. I mean, they're the 21, 22 hand. Somebody out there who's a horse person,
Great
call in
looking
and correct me. But
horses.
they're, I get nervous around horses, man. I don't have
Yeah,
a
they
lot of
kinda scare
experience.
me a little bit,
Horse
too.
that big, freak you
Oh,
out.
they're beautiful
Let's go to the
animals.
phones.
though.
What do you say, Steve?
Let's
Yes.
grab it. Let's grab it.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Fran Costa.
Hey, Fran.
Franny, we love you.
Hey, congratulations today, Fran.
Felicidades, Franny, for all
I'm
your hard
putting
work.
you down
and
for number 69,
69. We
Fran.
got your number already. Tell us a story, Fran.
Very good. No, I'm just calling. Did y'all already shoot the clip? I just got home.
We
The
did.
very beginning, yes. You mean the opening of the show?
Yeah, well, what we filmed outside City Council today, you already showed
Yes.
it?
We did, but we might be able to go back in and show it again for you, Fran. It's only a 30-second
I'm
clip.
not to worry. I can catch it on the replay. But
came out really
I just want to
nice.
congratulate you all, tell you thanks a million, and what a big victory for Viva Ybor.
Absolutely.
I know you worked hard, Fran, for many
We are
years.
very proud to be there with you, Fran. And very proud of you.
Privileged to be on your team, Fran. I'm just happy to be in the lineup.
Well, I want to thank you all. I couldn't do it alone. Like you said, there's no I in team, so I want to thank everybody for all their help.
I like that.
Thank
Very
you, Fran. We
welcome.
love you.
All right,
Got
take
your
care.
back.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Fran.
How about this? How about we play the video now, the Inside Brewery Tour. Very rare video.
How long is the video, Steve?
It's about 2 minutes.
That's good.
2 minutes worth of video. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve, set it up for us.
Well, basically, this is taken about a year before the brewery closed down, and it's a very rare live video of the Inside Brewery Tour. And this
Are you in it?
It's certain to bring back a lot of memories. No, unfortunately, I'm not.
No sound, correct?
But there is some sound.
There is some
Yeah,
sound.
there's some sound.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hang on to your hats.
I'm ready.
Here
You
comes
ready to
the
watch this?
video.
This is great.
Rarely ever seen before. May bring back some memories. Enjoy.
Is known as a lager or aging tank.
Beer is transferred here when it is ready for its second pour. Enzymes required in the brewing process. After aging, the barley malt goes to the brewery and is ground in huge malt mills. Besides malted barley, Budweiser also contains rice. Rice is used to fertilize recipe development. Another basic ingredient is water.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, we're on the air. We understand we're on the air, ladies and gentlemen, but my technical director is telling me in my ear something very technical. He said, you're on the air, but it's looking crappy.
Oh,
Okay, so
great.
that said,
Thanks.
the TriCaster, which is the fancy name for the computer that actually does the yeoman's
graphics.
work, the graphics,
Yeah.
that shows the video, the still photographs. It's having a moment right now.
You
It's
think that
having an
video
issue.
kicked it out, maybe, huh?
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
What happened was, I think what happened is what we did when we showed that video, it exorcised some of the demons
Yes.
from the brewery that came out like a poltergeist, Ghostbuster style,
blew
through the
it up.
TriCaster, and hell, man, it just went crazy.
There we go.
All right,
I think it's back
we're
up again.
back. Now,
Thank
do you want to
you.
try to run the video again, Jeffrey?
I would say maybe.
Or do you want to go to the phones? We can take this caller because they've been waiting a little while.
Yes, take the call.
All right, let's take the caller. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, and thank you for your patience.
Hi, this is Charlotte from Riverview.
Hi,
Hi,
Charlotte. Good to
Charlotte.
hear from you.
I vote for the Bird Show.
Yay,
Bird show.
me
All right.
too, Charlotte.
Remember the little cockatiel that used to ride the bicycle across the wire?
Right, the cockatiel with that, and then you also had, rescuing them from the fire.
Fascinating.
Right,
And then you had,
exactly.
you had Dolly, the blue macaw.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember
How
Dolly.
did they train that bird to get that fire bucket and throw the water? I don't know.
I have
the
no
ladder.
idea.
Dude.
But I just remember going there year after year. I mean, when I was a kid, and it was
Sure.
free.
Sure, yeah.
Of course, of course.
We
And
all
it was
did.
free. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
We haven't even mentioned that. Lowry Park was
That
free.
doesn't
the brewery
really
was
happen
free.
now, the
We
free
were so
stuff.
lucky, Charlotte.
Yes.
The old
world.
Swiss house for dinner, they had fondue and stuff.
Fondue,
Yeah.
how
Love the
can you
Swiss
forget
House.
it? When you got older, as you were in high school, at least it was the case in my case, that's where you went for like proms and homecomings. It was like a special, dress up kind of your after your tuxedo, whatever.
Big date night.
Big date time.
And we actually went there for my 18th birthday, just so I could have beer on my birthday.
Oh,
nice.
how about that?
Terrific, terrific.
It was
Hey,
one of those memories. You had to go there when you turned 18 so you could have the beer.
Yes.
it sounds to me that's
Indoctrination.
a true Tampa native speaking right there. And Charlotte, I know you're a big fan of the show. We hadn't heard from you in a while. Thank you so much
We
for
need
calling.
her Belita number.
Give us your Belita number, darling.
26.
26.
it is.
You got
26
it.
it is. Charlotte, don't be such a stranger.
Okay, thank
Love-
you.
love-
And always love Busch Gardens. It's a shame it's gotten so
I know.
un-Busch Gardens-ish.
Yes.
And you know what? I
know.
don't even think that's part of the American language, but you've just made it part of the lexicon. And to be honest with
we
you,
totally understand.
like
to
it.
be honest with you, all I can say is we were so very lucky to have grown up at a time when we had all of that here,
Yeah.
and it didn't cost us a nickel.
And life was simple.
It
really
was simple
It really
and
was.
much better.
Kind of like our show, huh, Charlotte?
That's-
Real simple,
that's why.
but fun.
Fun. And and you had and it was free. It
Yeah.
didn't cost you an arm and a leg.
Right.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, that's-
Which
Have a
is,
good evening.
thank you, darling.
Thank you,
Thanks
Charlotte.
for your call.
She's so right about that.
No, she's 100% right. Stevie, you got to tell us. I want to make sure I haven't left anything out. Special 15-minute announcement coming up. I can't believe they got that Tony Zapponi question that quickly.
That was
I know,
fast.
that's amazing.
Too bad
Tell
about
us-
the brewery video because it showed all the bottles in the
Yeah.
can.
Hey, listen, we
going
can always
around
bring that back
We'll
again.
have to do that
we can
again.
always bring that back again. Jeffrey, you tell us if you have confidence with the TriCaster to show any more videos, because if you still got that 30-second video at the outset of the show, Fran is watching. We'd maybe like to show that to her, because today's Franny's day. And
Yes.
we want to show that
It
video
was her
again.
cause.
But Steve, while we're waiting to hear back from Jeff, tell us how you got that job, brother.
Yeah.
Well, interesting story. The very, very lucky to get the job. And back in the days when we were late 70s when we were looking for jobs, we went to the big, you couldn't go to monster.com. You had to get in your car, drive, and go physically knock on doors
Yeah.
to big companies. Usually
Different
the can
world.
companies, the breweries, the airlines, and we'll have to talk about that on another show too. As you know, you may have done the same thing.
Right.
I went to the brewery, and I walked in, asked for an application, and I was going to take it home with me and fill it out. I asked the receptionist, what are the chances? Are you hiring? She goes, well, we don't really hire too much, around here because nobody leaves.
Right.
know,
It's a
and-
great
Yeah.
job. Nobody's leaving.
Nobody, very rare. Let's say drag you out, they carry
Right.
you out. But she said, and on top of that, we get 10,000 applications a year.
Oh,
You can
my.
imagine 10,000
That's
applications
so
a year.
many.
So I took the application home, thinking, well, chances aren't too good here, but I filled it out, and a couple days went back, and I thought, hey, I want to try something different. I want to put my high school picture. I was 18 years old, just out of Hillsborough High School. I thought, this would be a great job. I just can't wait. I'm going to give it a try. Put my picture on the application with a paperclip. I said, okay, now my application stands out from the other 10,000, in
Good
my
thinking.
mind. Right. So sure enough, 3 weeks later, I get a call from the brewery, and it was the hiring manager. Called me in. He said, hey, can you come in for, which I thought was an interview. So I got my suit, my tie. I kind of rehearsed. I was role played on the way to the brewery. I go into the room. He introduces himself to me. We shake hands. He says, here, have a seat. Here's your W-2 form. Fill this out. Here's your union card. Fill that out. Here's something else, and you got the job. And I said, no interview? He goes, no, you got the job. And I said, well, when do I start? He says, well, that I can't really tell you. He says, you're going to be on call. There's some people you're going to be a casual employee, not a full-time. You have to work 150 days in a year before you can become a full-time employee. He says, you may get called once a week. You may get called 5 times a week. You may get called once every 6 months. And I suggest that you carry a beeper with you, a pager. Back then, they had the GTE pager.
Sure, the
remember,
big pagers,
like
of
the
course.
doctor.
Yeah.
And so I said, I'll do it. I'll take it. And it wasn't as bad as they made it sound at first. And I started getting calls like right away. And it was 3 shifts, day shift, afternoon shift, midnight shift. So sometimes they call me like 11 o'clock at night and say, hey, I need you here at 12. And, sleep or no sleep, you had to go in.
Oh, wow.
You couldn't miss more than 3 days in a year
Yeah.
or they take you off the list. And but another interesting thing, and I mentioned at the beginning of the show, as to why I thought maybe it was meant to be for me to be there.
Uh-huh.
And they had beer in the lunchroom, which was very unusual. You could drink beer
How
on
cool
the
is
job.
that, man? When
That
you
was
break
really
from
cool.
lunch, yeah,
Oh, I
have a
love
beer.
that. And the drinking age at the time, right before I got hired, was 21. They lowered it
Yes.
they lowered it to 18 just for a very brief
Yeah.
period. You remember that?
Sure,
I
of
do
course.
remember
And
that.
I think it was like maybe not even a year. It was
76
like
when I
Yes.
turned
8
18.
months.
Yeah.
It became 18.
They changed it again, but by that point I was already grandfathered in. So it was just a fluke. I mean, the timing was incredible. But here's the thing. All those years, everybody that worked at the brewery, they either got the job there because they knew somebody or they're related to someone, brother, sister, daughter, cousin. I knew no one there. And they kept asking me over the years, hey, how did you get a job here? I said, well, I put my picture on my application. And they like, yeah, I don't think so. And I said, no, seriously, I did. And I really believed that for like 10 to 11 years. I was there 17 years.
That it was a picture.
I thought it was that.
Yeah.
I told everybody that. This is
Yeah.
why I got it. Well, I just found out from Philip Cacciatore. Well, I mean, I found out the details. So we talked about it the other day, Philip
Sure.
Cacciatore. But I found out from Philip Cacciatore's sister. Philip Cacciatore is my cousin, sponsor of the show. His sister Lily, her husband was the VIP security guard at Busch Gardens from way back in the early 60s.
Oh.
And then they liked him so much they moved him up to a different position high within the VIP department. So he would take, when August Busch would come down, he would actually take him on the tour. So all the VIP, the big shots. So what I didn't know is my uncle George told Lily that, hey, Steve just
Steve's
applied.
looking for a job.
He applied at the brewery, and that's why they called me in and gave me the W-2 and said, don't worry, just fill this out. Here's your card.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, that was really easy, But I never knew that until like
All these years.
I didn't know that for 10 years, or more.
That's
But that's how I
amazing.
got the job at the brewery.
That's great.
Listen, it was, and as fascinating as that story is, and as competitive as the job was at the brewery, it was equally as competitive
Yeah.
in the line of work that I chose and I've been involved in for the last 28 years, which is the airline business. We'll do another show completely about that
That would
at
be
some other
interesting.
time. But as I'm looking at that picture, go back one picture,
Oh,
if you would,
yes.
Jeffrey.
We have to talk about that a
real
little bit.
quick. That picture there, That's your Anheuser-Busch softball team,
Well-
which is a story attached to that. Just like the airline team, we had a
You had one
softball
too?
team. Of course, we had
Yeah.
a softball team.
We used to
Hey, well,
travel a lot.
the airline team should have played the Budweiser team.
It would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
We probably would have whipped your little hiney.
Yeah,
but
they had a
anyway,
really good team.
Because we had a really good team. And that looked like a bunch of bad guys too. But
Yeah.
Stevie, you're the first one on the left that you can see
Standing.
the full. Yeah,
Right, with a beard.
with the beard.
Oh,
I look like Blackbeard the pirate.
I would never have picked you out.
You know, you look like the angry young man.
The
dude.
only-
You look like you were still pissed because you're working the third shift and you're like 7 years into this
The only
thing, man.
the only thing that looks like me there is the way I stand. I
Right.
still stand the same.
Yeah.
Well,
way.
that almost
Yeah.
and that's almost you're almost in a Taekwondo stance, brother.
Yeah.
Like I don't know whether you're going to go out and shag fly balls or kick somebody. I don't know.
But now the cool thing about this picture too, though, is this was great. It was back in this is 1982. They started a softball tournament with all the 13 breweries. There were 13 breweries. Now there's only 12 because the Tampa one's closed down. And they had a men's team go the first year. We played in St. Louis at the time. Anheuser-Busch owned Busch Stadium. They owned the Cardinals.
Sure.
They owned
Everything is
everything,
Yeah.
everything but the arch. And but so we had a team. We'd go there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got paid a regular working day for Thursday and Friday. They gave everybody a crisp $50 bill
How
for spending money
nice.
while we were
Back
there
then,
in St.
pretty
Louis.
good.
Yep, big dinner and cater at the hotel Saturday night.
Wow.
Travel, everything. And the winning teams got to play inside Busch Stadium.
Nice.
We didn't win the
Oh,
tournament, so we couldn't
cool.
play, but we got to go to, of course,
Oh,
watch.
cool.
But that's how the company was. It was very much like a family-oriented,
Yeah.
incredible. We went on ski trips together. We worked together. Do we have a call?
No, we've got two calls.
two
Listen,
calls. We better take
let's,
the call.
let's take one because this line's been flashing for a little while. Maybe they're
Okay.
going to ask us a question about
And
that
the
picture.
hour is
Caller,
flying.
you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Thank you for holding.
You betcha. This is Jim from Largo.
Jim from Largo.
Jim from Largo?
Jim Hooper?
North Palomino Jim from Largo.
Okay,
How are
it was
you,
usually-
Mario and Tampa Steve and Sal.
Hi, Jim.
Hi,
He's usually
Jim.
Jim from Palmacia, but he's in
Yes.
Largo tonight. He's on the road.
I recognize
Same
him.
Jim,
Helping
different
my brother
location.
back up and move houses, so doing the good deed. Congratulations on turning the La Septima to Septima.
Thank you. Accent on the first syllable, Septima. That's okay. I
Septima.
know it's a little bit rough, but it's listen, it was a tough slog, but we got it done, man. We
Yes,
got it
we
done.
did.
You're talking to an Anglo from Alabama here, so give me
That's right. That's what I'm saying. It's like you say, sometimes we say sept, like I'm going. I would go yesterday, sept. I had something to do. You say Septima.
Septima. So
Very
what's
nice.
the question of the day? I haven't seen any of your show this evening.
Okay, question of the day, real quick, with about 10 minutes to go. We got a special tribute to Steve that we're going to bust out here in about 2 minutes. Question of the day is brewery or bird show? Which did you which do you remember the most? Going to see the bottles being capped and all the beer being made and consumed, or
The bird show.
I remember the brewery, and especially the long escalator ride up to the brewery.
There you
remember
go,
that,
the
yeah.
escalator ride. When you watch the show in replay, you'll be able to see that escalator. We showed that picture earlier in the show. Look at those big kettles there, man. How much beer did they turn out every day? Oh, yeah, Jimmy, we got to let you go, Pop, because we got things to do.
Bolita number?
But your Bolita number is 58 for
58 for
Okay.
13 of it haven't been taken.
13. What's it, 13?
Yeah.
13
Oh,
today.
13,
Lucky 13.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate your call, brother.
Okay, God bless our friend Bill Ratliff, who passed away on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. That was sad. And
Much too soon.
if you
Yes.
got details on that, send me a private email because I know it was complications due to surgery, but they didn't say much more after that. Send me a private email.
Well, hey, send me an email with your availabilities. We've got a meeting set up in the next week and a half on that other thing at TV. So
I appreciate it.
on availability days.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Adios, buenas noches, guys.
Bye,
Buenas
Jim.
noches. What was I going to say real quick?
And I've got a real short, good story.
Short, good story.
that
We'll get to this
a
call.
lot of
We got
people
about
don't know
8 minutes
about.
to go.
This
Wow.
is great. I was gonna say this after the video, after we
Okay.
saw the cans and bottles go around.
All right.
But, okay, after the brewery tour, when people took the tour of the brewery, they would go down to the hospitality house. They follow the little path,
Correct.
right, and go get a sample of the beer, like we talked about earlier.
Correct.
All right.
Well, guess what? That beer that you were drinking and all the tourists were drinking all those years, at least from the early 70s on,
No, man, I'm not sure I want to hear this.
well, no, it's not bad.
Okay.
It just wasn't from that brewery.
Oh.
Because you know
Because you
why?
had to cure it, right? I mean, it had to.
Well, it was draft beer, and we only make cans and bottles. in a brewery.
right.
So everybody,
kegs had to come from
they
someplace
watched,
else.
yeah, they watched the tour and they went through the tour, went and had a beer sample, said, oh man, right from the brewery, thinking it's from the Tampa
Oh.
brewery, and it really wasn't. It was from the
Man,
Jacksonville
Stevie,
brewery.
that
It was still good.
It was almost
though.
like a scandal.
It was
Yes.
amazing. It was amazing because it was ice cold, and
That's
you thought
top
it was
secret
fresh
information
from
Exactly.
the brewery.
Yeah.
And little did we know.
Yeah.
But it makes perfect sense because they didn't make the.
They didn't make
the
kegs there. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, we got one more caller. Then we're gonna give me time check, Jeffrey, please. 6.5 minutes.
That's
Stevie,
all?
stand by.
6 minutes.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Danny Hernandez.
Danny Hernandez.
Is this Danny Hernandez?
This is Danny Hernandez.
Former brewer.
Tell us a story about the brewery, man.
Well, I was going to tell Steve, Steve, I was going to let you know that was a great team picture, and I really enjoyed playing softball
Dan,
with
you were in that picture too.
Oh, Dan, where were you in that picture, brother?
He was kneeling down. Maybe Jeff will bring that
Look at
picture
the
back up.
hospitality house, man. We got so many pictures, so little time. There's the picture. Take us out. Which one are you, Mr. Hernandez?
I was on the front row there, I believe, near the end.
That's right. He's on the right-hand side, kneeling down.
Inside, there you go.
Danny Hernandez.
Oh, the far right? Far right?
Yep, far right.
With a little armband kind of thing?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's an armband.
Yeah,
It's just a
it's
trim
a
on the jersey.
shirt.
Yeah, I got you.
That's
I got
him.
you. How about that, man?
Well, good times, huh, Danny?
Very nice.
Oh, fantastic times. It brings back great memories.
Just like our show.
And
Yes.
there's so much.
That's
and,
what we're all about.
And Danny, that place we get emotional really to this day because of the fact it was such a family-oriented place.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of employees, man. So as Steve said every week.
Yeah, it was. And we really had a great time playing softball all those years.
There you go.
We sure did.
There you go.
We
Danny,
sure did.
hey, Danny, let me ask you a question, man. Can you still play?
At 56, I don't know. These legs don't move that fast.
That's what I was gonna say. If we get a team full of viejos together, man, viejos, I'm talking about guys our age. Could you go out there on a Sunday and throw it around?
Yeah, I'll try and go out there.
All right, brother. Don't hurt yourself. Remember to stretch. We'll give you a
Yeah,
call.
but
Give us your
Bolita
Bolita number, Dan.
I'll have to stretch.
Yeah, well, we all will. Give us your Bolita number.
Let's go with 35.
35.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, brother. Call
Thanks, Danny.
anytime. We're here every Thursday.
All right, I'm enjoying your show.
Good to
Thank
hear
you
from
so
you.
much.
Thank
Good to hear
you.
from you.
Bye-bye. Cody, we've got one more caller. Let's get the call, and then we've got to do a special tribute
Okay.
for Steve. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Bob Carpenter from Temple Terrace.
Hey,
Hey,
how
Bob
are you?
Carpenter.
Yes, another former brewer.
Oh, that's
actually,
so-
actually, he
You're
worked at the brewery,
bringing
but he
him
was in the
in,
packaging
Steve.
department.
All right,
Nice.
man. They're all
Bob.
showing up for you today.
Welcome
Steve.
in.
Bob, what are your thoughts?
Hey, Steve, this is Bob. Good to see you on TV, brother.
Hey, I know. Good to hear you on TV.
Good to hear you on TV, man.
I just wanted to tell you, Steve, we had some great times out
We
there.
sure
It was a
did,
big
Bob.
family-type organization, wasn't it?
Man, you said it, Bob. Exactly what I was just mentioning before. We're a family, really.
There you go.
We work so much overtime together. We
Yeah.
spend
Yeah, you
more
spend a lot
time.
of time
We
together,
spend more
sure.
time together than we do with our own
Yeah.
families.
Working
really.
overtime and playing ball.
Steve, I ended up spending 37 years out there at the brewery. I went
Wow.
there in '59 when they first opened. And I want to correct you on one thing. I used to get beer. We had the keg line there the first few years that we were there.
I do remember that.
Oh,
It was a little before my time.
That's right.
That's right,
And
but
then
I do-
after they stopped, they did away with the kegs. Then,
Right.
of course, they started shipping the beer in from Jacksonville.
There you
Right,
go.
right.
Hey, Bob, man, you got to make it out to one of our functions one of these times. We'd love to meet you. Give us your Bolita drawing number, lucky number between 1 and 75.
All right, 23.
23 is taken.
It's taken. Give me another one.
Okay, give me 50.
50. You got it, Bob. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
calling,
Bob.
man. Give us a call anytime.
Steve, we love the show, and y'all keep up the good work.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Bob.
Bob. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
for calling.
Bye-bye.
So
Bye-bye.
bad.
Stevie, we got something special for you. How much time? We got about 4 minutes?
Oh my gosh.
It's-
A little over 4 minutes. Stevie, we've been working on this all day, man.
know you guys
in
have.
between pitching City Hall on La Septima over La Septima, and we hope this
Where'd you
comes-
find the time?
Well, we hope this comes out good. Darling, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, Stevie, this one's for you, and let's find the pitch, and then we'll go to our Bolita drawing number. Ladies and gentlemen, we take risks here on the Tampa Native Show. We don't mind telling you that, and singing a cappella is one of the things we try to do. Darling?
All right. When you say bud,
You've said a lot of things nobody else can say.
when you say bud,
You've gone as far as you can go to get the very best.
when you say bud,
You've said the word that means you like to do it all.
when you say bud,
It means you want the beer that's got a taste that's number one.
when you say bud,
You tell the world you know what makes it all the way.
when you say bud,
You say you care enough to only want the king of beers. There is no other one, there's only something less, because the king of beers is leading all the rest. When you say Budweiser,
you've said it all.
when you say Budweiser,
You said it all.
Hey,
Bravo.
we got through it pitch
That was
perfect.
good. Hey, I'm getting goosebumps.
That came
from
out
that
pretty
song.
nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed that. We hope that brought back some memories because we YouTubed that,
That did.
a couple of days ago, man, and it
A
was
couple
like,
of days ago. I think it was today.
yeah, it was.
And that was a long time jingle for many
All right,
years.
all right. Here's what
Yes,
we're giving away
it
today,
was.
courtesy of La Septima.
La
that's with a
Septima?
P, La Septima Restaurant in Brandon. Thank you, Franny, for donating this.
A
That's
very
perfect.
nice,
Let's get to
colorful
this
t-shirt.
real quick, and
Oh,
then
wow.
Jeff, if you will, we got 30 seconds left. We want to go ahead and show that clip that we started the show with for Fran tonight. So, Stevie, you're the night guest
Let's
of
go.
honor, baby.
Let's go.
Get in
Here
there
it
and
is.
dig
Let's
one out.
pull a number.
One lucky winner tonight, closest to without going over, sweetheart.
44.
44.
43 would be Kiki.
Kiki
All right, Kiki, congratulations.
Castillo. He wins La Septima shirt.
Winner.
We got enough time to show that video?
Congratulations.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we open the show. Franny, this one's for you. We'll come back and sign off in just a
That's for
minute.
you.
Yeah.
Hi, Tampa Native Show fans. Mario Nunez here alongside Frank Costantino. You are, sir? And you, sir?
Dan Garcia.
And you, ma'am?
Elma Alvarez.
And I have to say today, power to the people. The people prevailed 5-1 in a vote, City Council. They're going to change the signs on 7th Avenue to read La Septima. Frank, we did it. We did it. With the power of Marcelo Macera's flag in chambers today. So, on behalf of everybody in attendance, Danny, are you ready? Tampa Natives power! Jeff, push the button. The Tampa Native Show begins right now.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
That's good
Incredible.
stuff right there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pop, for participating in the Superman
Thanks, Gramps.
display there. Give me a quick time check, Jeff. I just don't want to go over.
How much time?
A little over 2 minutes. Okay.
Oh, okay, good.
Real quick before we sign off, we got to say, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend to honor moms. Okay, this weekend Mother's Day is on Sunday. Moms are here. You better give them a call. You better give them a call and let them know how much you love them and how much you're thinking about them.
Yes.
If they're not here, send one up for them. We're going to remember moms next week. So we're asking that you send in your photographs. Best photograph, best day with your mom. Send us that photograph. Could be when you were a little kid. We just want to show
Whatever
those
one you like the
photographs
best.
next week. Also, on a very personal note, I want to say a very happy birthday to my beloved 15-minute girl who turns ba-ba-ba-boom on Saturday.
26.
And, 26 all over again on Saturday. So happy birthday to the 15-minute girl. We're
you.
getting close. I know we're getting close. 30 seconds to go. Stevie, it's been a pleasure, man, to do this show
What a
tonight
fast
with you.
show.
Wow.
We may have to do a second
Yes,
one
it
on
might
the brewery.
be part two.
How'd that end up on this side of the table?
Well, and you look good over there, my brother. You look good over there.
Playing musical chairs and the music stopped.
We hope you've enjoyed the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to bring this
Yes,
show to you
it is.
each and every week. And we'll be here each and every week, so make sure you tell your friends. We'd love to grow our audience. Send us an email. We'll send you a bumper sticker. On behalf of Tampa Steve, the 15-minute girl, let's do it, guys.
Ready?
Salud
Salud.
and happy
Happy
days.
days.
We love you, Tampa.
Yes, we do.
Bye.
La Septima.
Back when we were younger and everything seemed new, we used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleepy days, long summer nights, going anywhere we please, with love that I could call my own, love that I've always known, the city that I call my home, a home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. I love her and she loves me. I remember Tampa, oh, she remembers me. She remembers me. I remember, yeah, yes I do. Oh, oh, I remember, yeah, me and you. I'm a Tampa native, Tampa native, can't you see? I will share my story with you to preserve its history.
All right now, don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m. on TBCN, home of the Tampa Native Show.